Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video today. This is actually part 2 of a two-part look at systems of inequalities. If you missed my first video, go back and watch that. In my first video, I looked at how to see whether or not a certain ordered pair actually satisfied a solution of 3 inequalities. And so go back and look at that video if you missed that. But today we're actually going to look at how to graph a system of linear inequalities. So we're going to take these two examples here and we're going to work them out and see. It's actually not too difficult. We're going to use a free piece of software to actually do this called Desmos. You can download the app, or they have a website that you can access. We're going to be using their website today. So let's take this first one, this number 5 example here, and let's graph these 3 inequalities and see what our overall solution will be. Alright, so we're going to, here's Desmos. We're going to just type in the inequalities. So the first one from that number 5 was y is less than -2. So we can see here, if we type that in, all the shaded area down here will satisfy that inequality. Y is less than -2. But we have a system of inequalities, so we need to type our other ones in as well. So our second inequality was x is greater than -1. If we type that in, we can see that we have another shaded area. And so far, the solution to these two inequalities is just going to be this box down here where they kind of overlap. So we're looking for overlap when it comes to the solution for these inequalities. But they had a third inequality, so we're going to type that in as well, and that's y is greater than 1/2 x minus 3. 1/2 x minus 3. Okay, and we can see that the only place that these 3 inequalities overlap is right in this little triangle right here. So that right there is the solution to our problem. So if we were to graph these 3 inequalities, we could kind of draw these 3 lines that represent our 3 different inequalities, shade in the appropriate side, and where those shaded areas kind of cross over, so this little triangle in this example, that would be our graph for our solution. All right, let's look at one more. So let's take a look at this second problem, number 6. So, and let me see what else we have. No, I'll let y'all do those for practice. Let's look at number 6. So we'll take these 3 inequalities, plug them into Desmos, and see what we get. Alright, so let's go ahead and clear these out. So our first one is y less than or equal to, and there's always a little keyboard down here in the bottom left that you can access on Desmos if you want some of the commands that are some of the operators that aren't on your keyboard. So we're going to use the less than or equal to, and then 3. Okay, and then we're going to do x less than 2. And then our final one is y greater than or equal to -2x plus 2. And so we can see that the place where they kind of all overlap is going to be this little triangle right in here. This little triangle right in here would be the graph of these three inequalities. Now also notice, do y'all see how this line right here is dotted or kind of dashed, a dashed line, and then these 2 lines are solid? That comes from whether or not we have a less than or equal to, or just a less than. If it's just a less than sign, then it's going to be the dotted or the dashed line. And if it is less than or equal to, then it's going to be a solid line. And it's the same thing with the greater than and the greater than or equal to. Since this was a greater than or equal to, then it's a solid line for that. Okay, so when you're drawing your graphs for these, just keep that in mind, that you want to make the dotted lines go with the less thans or greater thans, and the solid lines will go with your greater than or equal to's or your less than or equal to's. But anyway, that's it for me. Actually, let me leave you with 2 problems that you can maybe try out. So try out number 7 and number 8 here. Try out number 7 and number 8. See what you get for those graphs, and I'll see you in the next video. So take it easy, guys, and peace out.